still alive. Still very live. Still alive. You're watching No Pictures of a Bird Up Late. A podcast by Mr Tapscott. I'm Mr Tapscott, a guy who's richer than you. There we go. How we going? Yeah, I just thought I'd wrap up a few loose ends on that last video. It went for 3 hours. But yeah, there's a couple of little things I'd love to caveat there. A couple of asterisks. Now, there is heaps more to that story, which I will be revealing in the coming days and weeks. But we haven't spoken about Queen Elizabeth yet. She was a whole thing on her own. Prince Philip was a whole thing on his own. Yeah. We haven't spoken about the British SAS. They're a whole thing on their own. So there's still more. There's still much more. Just when you think it could, apparently, it gets even more fucked up. It's even more fucked up. Unbelievable. Joining me as always, Kitty Callahan, represented here by the Granite Island Cup. Don't forget they murdered penguins. And Tara Bennett, represented here by this candle. Don't forget we're getting married. Don't forget both of them are richer than you. And you fucking get over it. Get over it while you still can. Because if you don't get over it when it's too late, then it's too late. Yeah. Okay. So first little caveat. Now I started telling the story, but I got sidetracked. And I couldn't remember. Like I was on the video. I was like, what was I fucking talking about? Anyway, what I was actually talking about was there was a couple of teaser dance sessions in Melbourne before I hit the dance floor at Meredith and exploded the world. Yeah, but it kind of like it flew under the radar. And I was working at Telstra. Yeah, or kind of near there. Yeah, Melbourne has a club scene. And yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, Nick Tapscott, yeah, he's that gay dude." And it was in the sort of aftermath of the fucking it was in the aftermath of the legal action against Rosamond. So it was a pretty controversial character. But I had written the CV. And there are a lot of drugs in Melbourne. And one of the drugs I used to love taking was speed. And I had a good speed guy. I had a good speed connection. I'm like, you know what? I haven't just fucking... Because you're in Melbourne, it's Melbourne techno, right? It's supposed to be the dance music capital of Australia. So why the fuck not? Yeah, I'd just get a bag of speed. I had cash, I had money. Just went looking for love. I realize now that I met her, it was a hot girl there, and it was Tara Bennett. Yeah. Anyway, I had cash. So I'm like, you know what? Why the fuck not? So I got a bag of speed, and then went to a sick techno party. And fucking just destroyed the dance floor. Absolutely fucking tore it apart. Absolutely, yeah, just fucking like blew the roof off the building. And made myself an instant celebrity in Melbourne. Yeah, just did that underground scene. And then I never did it again. Or I did it like one more time. And everyone was like, fuck. And completely rebranded myself. Now the Turbo Babes didn't hear about that. Yeah. I didn't get their attention until I did it at Meredith. And then I did it at Meredith and I was like, fuck. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Now, one of the other things I was going to talk about in the last video was that Daisy Turnbull. So Malcom Turnbull read the CV. So did Daisy Turnbull. Malcom Turnbull makes a few phone calls. He's like, who do I know in Melbourne? I want to put the feelers in. And he contacts this bitch. Anyway. Now, she's acting. Whoops. Yeah, she's actually an old school gangster connection of the Turnbulls. So it's Turnbull's dad knew her dad, and they're associates through his dodgy fucking gangster. Like she was a painters and dockers associate. Yeah. So I used to work with her at a cafe called Mr Close, and then one day she approaches me out of nowhere and goes like, "Would you like to write for the Melbourne Arts Club?" And it's a blog. I'm starting a blog. Would you like to write for her? And I say, sure. Why not? Because I wanted to get a body of work out there. I wanted to get a body of work out there. So this is the art club, Melbourne Arts Club Gallery and Studio. Yeah, they just opened a studio to sort of like back it up and just do like galleries. But basically it was like broadsheet just for art shows. And it was cool. Like they had a website set up and stuff. Yeah. And so I just like wrote stuff and submitted it. They published it. That was cool. But again, they didn't pay anything. They didn't pay anything. Yeah. And so after a while I was like, I'm doing a bunch of writing. Like, and I'm trying to be a professional. Should I be working for free? I don't know. So I wrote her an email. This is after maybe like a couple of months. And I was building a reputation for myself. And this is what fucked me. He can't get it. Malcom Turnbull can't get it. He's like, what? Surely your highest priority is to raise your profile as high as it possibly can go and get as much influence and power as possible. And I'm like, no, that's not my priority at all. My priority is to make as much money as possible so then I can buy my freedom, because money equals time. If I'm being paid, if I can write an article in 2 hours that pays me 10 grand, that's great, because that just means like I just have to write one article a week and I'm set. That's it. And then the rest of the time I can work on whatever the fuck I want. But I don't care about being famous. I don't care about having influence or power or whatever. I don't give a shit. But he's like, fucking what? And it's the same break in logic when I like walked away from Meredith. Because Meredith's like, yeah, I'm famous, but like, it's just made the experience worse. It just means strangers are going to call me a cunt now. It still costs the same. Like I still have to pay the same amount of money. In fact, it's more expensive because I live in fucking Sydney. So the price just went up. But the experience has gotten shitter. Gay. Yeah, so fuck that. And I walked away. And it's like, what? But it's making you famous. I'm like, no, but it doesn't pay anything. It doesn't pay. And it's a bad time. It's shit. It's shit. Meredith is supposed to be, I just want to crack titties with my mates. Do a couple of bumps. Shred the D floor. That's it. Instead, now it's like a performance. And it's like, oh, Nick Tapscott. I'm like, fucking no, that's not what I signed up for. If it's going to be that, if I have to do that shit, if I have to take a lawyer and a PR specialist and a brand manager to a fucking music festival, you need to pay. You need to pay me to do that, because that's professional. That sounds like a professional thing. If I need to be stage managed, that makes me a performer. And if I'm a performer, you need to treat me like a performer. And you need to give me like a backstage pass. You need to give me a camping site. You need to pay me. And no, like performers don't pay for their own fucking ticket to go to a fucking festival. All right. So fuck you. I can't believe it. Why would you walk away from being famous? Idiots. Yeah, so it was the same deal. So after like, I'd written a bunch of stuff and I was getting famous. Like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, already writing. Yes. Yeah. But then after like 10 weeks, and I'd written like, what do you reckon, Tara? About 5 to 10 pretty good pieces, like polished work. It's like an article. It's like a half day's work, a day's work. I'm doing it for free. I built up my body of work, and I just said to her, like, all right, I wrote her an email saying like, look, I can't work for free. Yeah, so I'll write. I can't work for free. I'm not quitting. But I'm going to charge you $60 an article. And then, but I'm still happy to write for Melbourne Arts Club. But if I do that, I can only write one free article. So I can write one free article once every 3 weeks or something. Yeah, or once a month. I can write one free article once a month, and that's it. But I can't do 2 nights a week. I can't go out to art shows 2 nights a week and write 2 pieces for you a week for free. Yeah. I need $60 per article. Yeah. Which is quite reasonable considering it was like taking like, at least like, you got to go to the art show and then you got to write it up. And she went like, oh, you're a creep. And immediately, yeah, Malcom Turnbull was like, what? He fucking, yeah, I didn't know this in the background. He's like, what? Yeah. Because he's like, no, you should be working for free immediately. Yeah, straight away. He's like, I own him. Yeah, I'm entitled to take, yeah, this guy owes me free work. He literally thought, he's like, you owe it to me to prove to me that you're awesome. This is an opportunity for you to prove yourself to me. That's what he was thinking. And I'm like, thank you, but maybe you just like, if you can't take me as like, that sounds fucking gay. It sounds like a Hallmark card. But like, if like, no, I'm like, fuck off. Why do I need to prove myself to you? Turnbull, go fuck yourself. Yeah. I'm not jumping through a fucking hoop. Anyway, that's how we took it. Yeah. And so like the way I worded it was just like, look, I'm happy to keep writing for you. I just can't write as much as I can. I just can't write as much as I am. So, like, I'll still write for you, just not as much. Or you can pay me. And she's like, oh, fuck you. Yeah. It started, like, being a fucking total bitch, gossiping the whole bit. Yeah. Now, the other thing that was happening in the background is because this bit, like, fucking Daisy Turnbull, this started to play around with surrogates. What she was actually doing is setting up Jay to be her surrogate. Yeah. She's like, you're not working for Jay Forsyth. You're working for Daisy Turnbull. That's what she was trying to set it up to be. And then Jay Forsyth's sister, Kate Forsyth, was a corporate biatch. And Daisy Turnbull got to her through the corporate world, through the communications, because she was in corporate communications. She's like, I'm a writer too. And then I wrote a couple of things. I went, got a bit viral. And Kate Forsyth went, oh, fuck. And like what was happening was that Daisy Turnbull was ghostwriting articles and sending it down to compete with me. And then the Kate Forsyth was just fucking being a bitch, like a rude cunt to my face. And I'm like, I don't even know you. Why? Explain to me again. Why? What's the benefit here? Why would I be involved with you people? You make me work for free and you're rude. You're rude to my face. Why would I? I don't like you. I don't like you. Yeah, so then I quit. Then I'm like, all right, well, I'm not right. Yeah, if you're going to act like that, I'm just not going to write anything for you. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, so that was the beginning of Daisy fucking Turnbull fucking around with me because Daddy's rich and I'm allowed to do that and send in surrogates. Yeah, by the way, if anyone out there, if anyone ever approaches you with glasses like Tom Ford glasses and dark long hair pretending to be me, I will never do that. I will never, ever fucking do that. Kick them in the dick as hard as you fucking can. Tell them to fuck off. It's gay. It's the gayest. It's so gay. Why can't you just put your fucking name on it? Like, yeah, if you're not prepared to put your name on the email, it's creepy and weird and fuck you, you know. Cowardly. Yeah, very cowardly. Anyway. Now, but the final message that I wanted to get across was this podcast is called No Pictures of a Bird, a podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott, a guy who's richer than you. Now, the reason it's called that is because Pictures of a Bird, the original, was the act of I walk into a shop. It could be any shop. There's many different types of retail stores. It might be the shop at the art gallery. It might be the gift store. It might be the gift store at the art gallery. It might be a perfume shop at the airport. It might be a bookshop on Oxford Street. It might be a cafe. It might be an art gallery. And then, once I'm in there, it might be a souvenir shop. Then once I'm in there, I walk around until I find one key specific item. And then once I find that key item, the shop staff go like, okay, cool, I'll help you. And they open a door. And I'm like, cool, oh, thanks. And I keep going. Now, no one named that Pictures of a Bird. I named it Pictures of a Bird. They didn't have a name for it. No, they didn't have a name for it. But the idea was that's Mr. Tapscott's function. Mr. Tapscott was supposed to be a convict, a broke homeless guy who was indentured to servitude. With Mr. Tapscott as the convict, because he's arriving in Australia. To gain access to Australia, he needs to unlock it. Despite the fact I was born here and my family's been in Australia for like 6 generations. Aside from that, yeah. I need to arrive here, like a convict arrive here, indentured to servitude. And then, once the governors have released me from my sentence, I'll be free to sleep in a fucking fibroboard shack or something, a transportable house in a paddock somewhere or something like that. Yeah, that was their plan. That was their plan. And never, ever do any creative writing, ever. Yeah. Or have any money. Yeah, no, that's it. No, yeah. It's exactly that plan that guy had the other day. That Darwin guy. Yeah, it's exactly his plan. No, the government just like provide like a smaller, exactly, I'd be treated exactly like, but yeah, like an orphan or something. You get a small amount of supplies, but mostly I'd just be like an Indian on a reservation or something like that, like a Native American. Yeah, on a reservation. And I'd get like, yeah, they'd give me like a hut. Wouldn't have any aircon. Might have running water. And I'd just like sit in there. And people would come and go like, oh, tell me, great sage. Should I buy the automatic Lexus? The 6-speed automatic? Or the 5-speed manual? And I'm like, well, let me consult my bones. Or some dog shit. Yeah, some complete horseshit. Something like that. Something fucking absolutely stupid. Yeah, something fucking gay. Yeah. 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 But that was after I would walk around in circles, pretty much introducing myself in person to everyone in Australia, or at least everyone in the SAS, in the Australian SAS. Yeah. I was to do every town. I go, yeah, that's why they're talking about buying me a car. So I could drive around town to town and go town to town. Go suburb by suburb, basically door knocking, walking into shops, finding the picture of a bird. Now, yeah, they didn't call it pictures of a bird. I called it pictures of a bird because more often than not, the item would be like a postcard or something, or a tea towel, or some dog shit like that with a picture of a bird on it. And I'm like, here we fucking go. And they wouldn't like, you know, because they're smart, like for very good reasons. They weren't telling me exactly what was going on. They're just like, just go in there and do a thing. All right. What is it like? Again, another picture of a bird. Why are we looking for pictures of birds? I thought we're at war. Where's the war? Like, I thought we were fighting China. Shouldn't I be playing picture of a Stinger missile? Like, shouldn't I be playing picture of an M4 Combine with laser sight and combat stabilizing grip? Isn't that what I should be playing? You know? And it's like, no, pictures of a bird. That's what we're playing. And I'm like, fuck. Because I'm a homeless guy. And I fucking hate it. Like, this is fucking gay. This is really fucking gay. Shouldn't I be finding a picture of a hotel room with a bed in it that I can sleep in? Or a picture of a fucking $100 note? Or a stack of them, you know? Yeah. But anyway, the architect of that plan, the pictures of a bird, the architect of pictures of a bird, that game where someone hides an item in their shop and then Mr. Tapscott, and it's usually a picture of a bird. Though it actually was explicitly Malcom Turnbull's explicit instructions. Malcom Turnbull explicitly said it needs to be a bird. It needs to have something to do with a bird. It should be a picture of a bird. If it's not a picture of a bird, it's a picture of something adjacent to a bird. A flying fish. Something like that. Yeah. That was Malcom Turnbull, explicitly. Malcom Turnbull invented pictures of a bird. You're watching No Pictures of a Bird, a podcast by Mr. Tapscott. I'm Mr. Tapscott, a guy who's richer than you. So fuck you, Malcom Turnbull. How's he doing in hell, out of sighting? Mr. Tapscott, he is having a terrible time. Good. What should I say to him right now that's really going to piss him off? Malcolm, your daughter Daisy is extraordinarily average, both in intelligence and looks, and I'm out of her league. I always have been. I always will be. Yeah, and that also, Malcom Turnbull's plan involved eventually me hooking up with Daisy Turnbull, and that's why I had to cut ties with Tara Bennett. That's why I had to cut ties with Tara Bennett, because Malcom Turnbull was like, no, you're marrying Daisy. You're marrying Daisy Turnbull, and then your child will be my grandchild, and that will be the real Messiah. Yeah, that will be the real Son of Man, not you, Nick Tapscott. My bloodline will be combined with your bloodline to create the real Son of Man. And what did he threaten? What did he threaten, Kitty Callahan? Mr Tapscott, he said, if you maintain contact with Tara Bennett, if you speak to her again in person, because he'd already threatened, like, if I was to earn a living, he'd nuke Victor Harbour, South Australia. But if I was to speak to Tara Bennett in person again, he was going to nuke her hometown in Queensland. I don't know where that is, but I think it's like Sunshine Coast. Yeah, he was going to do it. Yeah, that was his threat. And that's why I had to cut ties with Tara Bennett immediately. Yeah. Fuck you, Malcom Turnbull. I'm pretty sure you're about to lose something. Something that's never going to grow back. Thanks, Albert. Now I'm going to make it very clear. If I don't get compensated, if anyone gets between me and compensation for this, I won't hesitate to wipe you out and your family. Because I will be repaid through silver in blood, and so will Tara Bennett. If this is what he's done to me, what else has he done to other people? Countless crimes. Yeah, countless crimes. How many murders can you count? 739. Malcom Turnbull. Malcom Turnbull has murdered 739 people. He's also a pedo. Lucy Turnbull has murdered 247, including Jay Forsyth. Yep, she murdered him. She murdered her. Yep. Why? Because she was a rival for Mr Tapscott. Yeah. Alex Turnbull, who went to Harvard, has murdered 372 people. Yeah. Anyway, that was the Prime Minister of Australia. You've been watching No Pictures of a Bird, a podcast by Mr Tapscott. I'm Mr Tapscott, a guy who's richer than you.